Hey, what is up, squad? TITOBODS here, and today we're going to have a very brief topic regarding the mercenaries for our swords. Since we have these guys who have been asking for this one, I just want to help with you guys or your questions or inquiries with some of the stuff that you don't understand, and I want to do it now. Anyway, for those of you guys who haven't yet watched our video or our short for today, this is where the questions originated for the day. We have uploaded a short wherein we show the difference between the elimination time or one of the best elimination time from my Ramesses versus my Miyamoto versus my Yodit, and all of them has a CPO. The only difference is Zugliang on Ramesses, but all the other two with Miyamoto and Yodit has Lagerta on it. So there are three different mercenaries now available for your swordsman. And the first question is, are they all usable for all the types of swordsmen? Number one, I'm going to discuss what are the skills that differentiate each of the mercenaries. And then number two, we're going to talk about how they function in the lineup. And number three, we're going to talk about which of this really benefits the lineup that you have. But before we do all that, don't forget to like this video, share this with your friends, and also, if you're into the channel, you like this kind of content, give us a subscribe, and also in the process, ring the bell so that you will always be notified as soon as we have a new video just for you guys. So you have three options. We have the Persian immortal, we have the French throwing axeman, also the Japanese samurai. Now, the Japanese samurai is the most vulnerable of them all. He is the most squishy, because as you can see, this is going to be your Japanese samurai skills. You have the victory blessing, which increases your activation chance of all your troops hero secondary strike skill or active skill by 1%. So 1% sometimes really do matter, but in my opinion, it will not always activate that much. It will help you though, in a way, if you are a sneaky player, for example, or you are really lucky with RNG. Now, number two, with the body plate mail, reduce all damage taken by the troop by 2%. So this lineup really has the lowest damage reduction out of the three. You are going to see that in a bit. Once it hits, once it activates, it really hurts. So that's that. Now, the recommendation here is it's good for Yodit, Scipio, and Lagertha. As you can see here, you can see it here that this is actually the Japanese samurai's recommendation. They also recommend it here on your Toyotomi and your Queen Dido, or maybe Oda also there. So those are the recommendations of the game that you can consider. Also, they have shown or given it also to this lineup right here with Miyamoto, Tribuana, and your Constantine, if this is your lineup. Now, if you have a Mehmed here, I don't really recommend Mehmed in the lineup of Miyamoto, because if you are using Miyamoto, you don't really have someone from Tribuana and Mehmed to actually get or benefit from Miyamoto's signature skill bonus. Both Mehmed and Tribuana has a passive one, so they don't really benefit from Miyamoto. On the other hand, Constantine will benefit because this one is an active skill. The only problem with Constantine is that his skill doesn't really have any damage, so that's the only problem. So those are the recommendations for the Japanese samurai. But in the situation of Yodit, Scipio, and Lagertha, it can also actually work, but this lineup is really squishy. Adding the fact that you're going to use a Japanese samurai will make the Yodit, Scipio, and Lagertha even more squishier, and I don't really recommend it unless you are going to build this lineup with Yodit, Scipio, and Lagertha really tanky with the adornments, the mounts, the gems, and the rings. Will I use it on a Miyamoto? Yes, if the Miyamoto is with Tribuana and Constantine, it will actually help. But with the other ones, I think it's going to be squishy, so I don't really recommend it doing it that way. And now, if you're using a Persian, because we're going to use the axeman later. So if you're using the Persian Immortal, you have here the Blade Unleashed, which increases all your heroes' skill damage by 2%, which is really good when I am using a Ramesses here and a Miyamoto here. And Wheel of Steel, after the troops deal skill damage, reduces all your damage taken by your troops by 3.5% for 3 seconds. Now, this is really good with your Ramesses, because how many times can your skill really activates with your Ramesses? Once you hit that crucial commander skill, let's say crucial commander skill, it will really always activate your signature skill, which will always, or you will always have the Wheel of Steel activated for your troops. That's why the Persian Immortal is really a vital part of the Ramesses lineup. And the recommendation here with your King Arthur, Scipio, and Lagerta is also a good one. That's actually doable there. Then, also as you can see here, it's also recommended on your Ramesses. And here also, yes, I do recommend it also there and maybe here. This one is actually a what I call a siege march, but you can also use this as a regular swordsman march. And if you want to see a video about this, I already have made one for free-to-play players. Answer in the comments if you need that link. Since you don't really have here the recommendation for your Ramesses, Scipio, and Zugliang, which you already know why, but I also recommend that in that lineup. So if I missed any lineup that wasn't here, please tell me in the comments so that I can answer your questions. So in my current state, what I'm using is a Persian Immortal and an Axeman. So I switch between the two. And I will tell you in a bit on how you can actually do that, or where you can actually use the French throwing axeman. First, have the skill here, Raging Cleave, which after the hero deals signature skills, increases their might and strategy by 1.5 for 6 seconds. Stacking up to 4.5, so let's see, 6.75, something like that, I think. That's what I think. But anyway, also it has here a Vanguard Blessing, which reduces all might damage taken by the troop by 4%, which is actually really good. It only has like 0.5% addition to the Persian Immortal, but the thing here is that you will always have that 4% might damage reduction. And honestly speaking, this is really good if you are up against, for example, a Lubu, a Miyamoto, so some heroes like that that are pure might that will hit hard even at the first instance of the battle. So the French Axeman is really good, blocking those damage right off the bat. And now, since there is no recommendation here in the French throwing axeman yet via the game, what I'm going to recommend is this. For example, you have both of this one, or you have three. Now, your lineup, for example, is like mine, Ramesses, Scipio, and Zugliang. So what I do is I run Persia and France. Now, the difference here is I use the Persian Immortal when I am up against strategy heroes. Like, for example, against another Ramesses, against a Belisarius March, against a Napoleon March. Sometimes I also use it against other heroes that are really tanky because I need that extra 2% damage. Like Cyrus, it really helps a lot with against Cyrus also because of that 2% damage. And especially if the Cyrus is a healer with the Barbarossa and Mansa Musa, it really helps a lot with that one. Now, I'm using the France or French throwing axeman. First of all, if I want to fight a Lubu, it really helps a lot with that. Number two is if I'm up against another sword, which is Miyamoto or Yoret. So I'm using that. I'm using the French throwing axeman. Also, if I see a Mulan or Arslan in the field, I'll make sure to punch in my French throwing axeman. And the same goes if you're using a Miyamoto and Scipio with Lagertha. Really easy to change your mercenaries. For example, this one. So you're just going to click and then change. There's actually a 10-second cooldown, but only a 10-second cooldown. So make sure that you do this if you have both, so that you can actually take advantage of the situation and without your opponent, for example, actually noticing that you are switching with 2 or 3 mercenaries. I think that's about it for the mercenaries. Hopefully I do give you, or I did give you a little bit of idea on how this works or how you choose your mercenaries in a way, especially if you're new, if you are a new player and you are still confused on how to use the mercenaries or where to use the mercenaries or which to pick. I hope that this video will help you out. For those veterans out there, I recommend that you guys leave a comment and share with everyone your thoughts. Anyway, have a great day, squad. This is your TITOBODS, and I will see you in the next one. And hey, click on this video right here for more awesome TITOBODS content. Thanks for watching, you guys, and TITOBODS out.